So it's slip sliding season at the Great Northern Sexcast, and I am not talking about lube.
No. It is. It has. We got a like an inch and a half of heavy wet snow or snow on top of the rain, and I don't mind the snow. You can move it. You can get through it.
Yeah.
The ice and the slush, and we're just going to get more of this because as the weather heats up, we're not going to have the cold. We're going to have these warmer spells. And I was like, I mean, my garden's going to be spectacular in the summer.
Oh,
but
mine too.
But this, God, I'm going to be able to grow more things. But
and
I'm like, and then I am so paranoid. We're about 9 years away from when I broke my ankle, and so I am completely fascinated about. I never really. I mean, I thought about ice. I wasn't a moron and stuff like that. But the way that I think about ice the past 9 years is completely different.
Yep.
Before broken ankle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I do.
Well, and you did a really special broken ankle. You didn't just break your ankle. Like, my dad broke his ankle and he recovered and he was fine. You sort of decimated
it was
your
a
ankle.
lot of pieces and a lot of metal in it. And,
Yeah. Well, it's that time of the year, and it's safer to have sex than it is to walk outside.
Especially if you're in Florida, because it's cold there, too, and iguanas are falling out of trees.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Oh, yeah, seriously, this was all... I know that by the time folks listen to this, because we pre-record, that, it's probably honest, but I feel like, oh, no, poor iguanas.
Well, okay, iguanas are fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I love them. Mm-hmm. They're a blast. But to watch them, like, looking... like they're dead, but they're not. Okay, one of the news stories, I don't know if you heard this one. I lost it. This guy, and it was, this week, saw all these iguanas in Florida, and he was, an animal lover, whatever. Did he pick
every year this happens? Did it again this year?
He put him in his car to take them to a vet place to, have a dignified burial. And when they got in the car and warmed up, they were mad. And they were mad, and they caused an accident. I'm sorry for him. I'm sorry for the iguanas. But it's a little funny.
Because iguanas are an invasive species to Florida. And so,
are they?
Yeah,
okay.
Folks may not know about it. But, because I remember this last year or the year before. I had, this year too.
They're such cool lizards. Mm-hmm. They really are. I mean, I love when I'm sure you see this when you go to Mexico too, Colleen.
Yeah. They're always hanging out. You can see the holes where they are, and
and they just chill.
I give them names in my as I'm going, and a week later, and
you walk by and they're like, "Yo, hi."
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. They're like, "I'm sunbathing right now." Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
We need to start out with Gwyneth Paltrow because why wouldn't we?
Well, there was something more than the candle.
Oh yeah, we're beyond the candle now.
We're beyond the candle.
Oh, sure. She's gonna have a Goop TV show because we need this.
But, do you
honestly,
realize
this is gonna be material for us?
What? Possibly. Maybe she's doing this out of the goodness of the heart because when she says dumb shit, she can be sued, and then she can distribute the wealth.
She has done that.
She's lost many lawsuits over the stupid shit she says and sells on her site.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the TV show is going to be called Goop, the Goop Lab. It's going to be on Netflix. And she did concede that she's made grave mistakes with her brand. But now the new series, there are going to be 6 episodes, promises exorcisms, psychedelics, psychic mediums, energy healing. And
I guess if you can't, be stupid with new stuff, you can just be stupid with old stuff.
Well, sure. And one woman who appears in the trailer says she completed years of therapy in about 5 hours. Okay. So,
that's just silly.
Here's a quote from her co-host that says, "What we try to do at Goop is explore ideas that may seem out there or too scary." So here comes the Twitter remarks. Okay. 1, Yay, I love encouraging and promoting pseudoscience in a time when parents are increasingly endangering their children by listening to influencers over doctors. Yeah, I mean, it goes on. We'll post this story.
Sorry. Oh, really? Today has been a very physical day. It's great. It's cold out. I finally got my office put together after the plumbing issue, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
I'm really tired. So I needed a good giggle. That's absolutely freaking perfect.
Well, you do realize we both must sample the series to see the Goop Lab.
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes. I wonder if I can how far I can get in before I have to say you're fucking kidding me.
But one other person that seems to be a kindred humor spirit to me says every episode goes into a different vagina to leave jade eggs, crystals, and healing energies. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. There is so much actual scientific information that people just don't do, and she has a wonderful celebrity megaphone. She doesn't. Why she can't go with the real science is beyond me.
Unclear. Mm-hmm. So one Florida woman was told by doctors that she had a better chance of winning the lottery than giving birth to 2 sets of twins in the same year. Bless you.
So, I'm going to get a drink of water here.
Okay, so am I. We'll both do it.
I'm not sure why I decided to be a coughing mess there for a moment.
No worries. But Alexandria Wollaston won the jackpot with the births of Mark and Malachi in March and Kaylin and Caleb in September. She hit the twin lottery, and there was no fertility drugs, no nothing. Conceived naturally. And she already had a 3-year-old. So she went
April,
from
May, June, July, August, September. She must have had sex and nanosex after she had the kids out.
Clearly. Her 3-year-old daughter helped her prepare. And she's got 5. She went from 1 to 5 in 1 year.
Oh, Jesus
Babies.
Christ.
All pooping, peeing, and hungry.
You know, I'm a mom. I've never had an issue with, that many bodily fluids. In fact, at one point when my one friend's daughter was young, one said, "Hey, can you take me to the bathroom?" I'm like, "Fine, I'll go." And then I had other, toddlers run at me and just hand me things. I don't know what they are, but toddlers, we all know, are moist and sticky. So I knew it wasn't going to be pleasant. I'm like, "Fine, give it, whatever."
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't bother me at all. But that is a level of human waste production that I just
for babies
that I just would not want to have to deal with.
No. Fred the studio dog has just joined Colleen on the couch. He will. He'll show over towards you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was trying to get up over here.
Yeah, but there's too much crap.
Right. He was seeing all the stuff. Okay. Did you ever do the elf on a shelf with your daughter?
Fuck no. That is the creepiest goddamn thing.
Okay.
Ugh. I mean, it was a little bit too late when it came out, and was always thinking, I'm like, and when I figured out what it was, I said, no way in hell.
So,
and I never did the whole Santa's watching you shit either. So there's that.
Okay, so basically, lay it out for people who might not know what Elf on a Shelf is.
Oh God, book came out 15, 20 years ago now.
Okay,
it's a story about an elf on a shelf who watches over things, and so it became this thing where people get an elf and they put it around the house, and people have all these elaborate things that the elf does. It's supposed to help keep your kids nice during the month of December. Personally, I just think it's creepy. But, oh my God. So what did someone do with the elf on the shelf?
Well, an unnamed father put up a video of one of their Elf on a Shelf episodes. And the school that his kids attended, threatened to report him to social services for sharing the degrading video on social media. Basically, it's a divorced dad. He's got the kids. He's also got a girlfriend. And she would do things like spill flour on the floor and make snow angels and do all this stuff, whatever. And he said, well, I want to have a go at this Elf on a Shelf thing. So he decided to,
So is he competing with the mom who would do it or the girlfriend?
The girlfriend that lives with him and the
okay.
kids. He was grabbing a pair of socks and he finds her dildo. So he puts the elf on a shelf with the dildo. The kids find it. And the video is of them pointing the dildo like they're shooting. And it had 11,000 shares and 5 million views. And it backfired. The teacher said, we're going to report to social services, blah, blah, blah. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, that's where because of course a fake body part is going to, the kids didn't even know what the hell it was. Minnesota has this stupid ass law, which is why I have rules that I don't even care if your baby is in one of those little buckets and you bring it in, because the state of Minnesota does not differentiate between a child who could be 6 hours old and someone who is 17 years and 365 days old. There are no kids, I don't care, in the stores or toddlers. I don't know. I mean, although I did have someone point at something once, the toddler yelled boobies. And we're like, so there were no kids in the store. And people get cranky all the time. I said, if you don't like it, you can call your legislature. Because I do not need someone, because really there is no difference. State of Minnesota, so I can, and I don't keep my stuff hidden. It's not this, I don't consider the merchandise shameful, so there's no reason to have it hidden anywhere.
Right.
So yes, you do not bring any kid into my store.
Absolutely. Well, and I understand that. But there's some commentary on this, and the dad took it down because he didn't want to get in trouble. But a lot of people say, well, look. How are those kids going to feel about it if they're identified and it's 12 years later? Or what if when they're looking to be employment, even though they were little, they had no control over it, there was that. And then what if pedophiles see them? And, I know.
The folks who think about this, what do they do in their life that makes them think about this stuff? I've always been fascinated by that concept. People come up with stuff and I'm like, that's how your brain works? I don't want to be anywhere near you. You're weird.
You're right.
Yeah, all those people are people that I want an island somewhere. There's something very wrong with them, but that's where their brain goes.
I think that's smart. Yeah.
I mean, I get the thing about not falling down drunk when you're 19 years old and you're trying to get a job or into school. That stuff. Do it, but I have a friend who I don't think he's ever taken a photo with a beverage in his hand. He just doesn't. He puts it down. He doesn't care what it is. It's going through there. Yeah.
Super smart. Super smart. So, Colleen, what are your thoughts on space travel? I don't think I've ever asked you this.
I find it fascinating that someone would spend $1 zillion fucking dollars on something just because they can. I mean, I'm assuming at one point it will happen, but it's not something that wakes me. I don't watch rocket launches. I don't pay attention to the.
Would you ever want to go?
I get so motion sick. I'd puke immediately. I mean,
okay.
That's probably why. Is that I am. I'm pretty sure in my lifetime there might be some space tourism. The way that technology keeps increasing.
Yeah,
but I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's there's lots of things. There are lots of places on this planet that I'm not particularly interested in seeing. Like, yeah, whatever.
Well, then you probably won't be applying to be the space state for Yusaku Maezawa. He is a Japanese billionaire, and he's given away $9 million, and he makes record-setting tweets. And now he's just a simple Japanese billionaire looking for love that he wants to take out of this world. And he's going to take her as a private passenger on a SpaceX flight.
I was about to say, is it SpaceX?
Yep, of course it is. And I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me.
Should I get a tissue?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. Unless you see something and you can tell me later.
I don't have my glasses on, so as far as
okay, perfect. We're all good. Yeah. He's looking for a female over age 20. Applications are due immediately. He will make his choice by the end of March. And he's going to make a private journey around the moon. And he wants to find a life partner. And I want to shout our love and world peace from outer space. Thoughts? Because, you can do that through an application process. Find a life partner.
Okay, so this guy's going to spend untold zillions of dollars. I mean, I find that obscene. Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, people are entitled to make money.
And spend it.
Yeah, and spend it. But after one point, when you think about the disparities and the way that folks are doing that and the way that things are stacked against anyone except like the top 100 families in the entire planet, not just this country, it's appalling. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's absolutely appalling. I mean, you don't think that there's historical sites in Japan that could be that, or he could fund 2 or 3 ships to take plastic out of the ocean. Mm-hmm.
He'd fund more than that.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but you know what I mean. The personal, the personal ego, honestly, of these 100 families on the planet is it's appalling. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah, well, they don't even.
No, they don't
have perspective.
No,
they don't. Mm-hmm. So you nor I, neither one, have ever been pregnant. But I have been around pregnant people that are very close to their due dates, and they can be, and I don't blame them for this, a little cranky, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, the uncomfortableness that I've witnessed, in my friends and others, I'm just like, I had absolutely, when I was younger. I thought, I don't really think I need to be a mom. And I realized what it was is I didn't actually have to give birth. Mm-hmm. As I go older, I said, yeah, I could do the mom thing, but the whole that I had to squeeze it out myself was not a thing. Mm-hmm. And I know, and after witnessing 9 births, still, yep.
You're still very cool with what you did.
Yep, very fine.
Well,
not having done it myself.
Well, then I would like to translate that empathy, sympathy over to other species and say, while I feel very sorry for the New Jersey woman who booked a tour, and part of that was a camel ride in the Moroccan desert, they put her on a pregnant camel that basically, in a nutshell, went batshit, took off with her. She fell off, broke her arm. And if you're a knocked up camel, just hang out at the oasis and, have some bananas or whatever, dates, I don't know.
Now I have to look up what pregnant camels crave.
So do I. I'm curious. But, and she's going to be suing, but they called the tour operator before they would call her an ambulance. And she was in the hospital for 2 days, and, it wasn't good.
I do find the fact that it is fascinating that not only do pregnant women sometimes get ignored when they need assistance. Obviously, it just translates into just pregnant mammals.
Mm-hmm. That camel should not have been at work.
No.
She should have been on bed rest.
So obviously there's, no camel leave either. There's no family and medical leave for camels.
No. And I'm completely opposed and outraged. Just so you know. Mm-hmm. So it was the no pants subway ride.
I gotta do one of these days.
You should.
I'm rather well, honestly, I am more fond of pants since I have decided that I'm really only going to wear comfy pants.
Okay.
I'm no longer I don't even own uncomfortable pants anymore.
Good.
They've all gone away.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're just.
Well, the 20 cities around the globe, which was, by the way, first organized in 2002 by a group called Improv Everywhere. They ride commuter trains on Sundays, on this one Sunday a year, in Chicago, Boston, Berlin, Calgary, Dallas, Mexico City, Tokyo, London, Lisbon, LA, St. Petersburg, Melbourne, and San Francisco.
Was that just recent?
Yeah.
It's sort of weird that Minneapolis doesn't do this.
How do we not?
They would seem. I mean, I've seen the the lingerie and undies fun run. Mm-hmm. I've been in a bar on that's right off of Nicollet Mall.
Yeah,
and I've seen people and there's just this whole group of people went by, and I went, "Is that one of those fun?"
Yeah,
yeah, but it was warmer.
It was very warm in all of these places. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe not so much Chicago, but anyway, it's a thing. So look for your local Improv Everywhere No Pants Ride coming up next January, and join in.
Yeah, because I think there's also like an underwear bike thing too.
Cool.
And so like that.
Very cool.
I really, honestly, that seems like something that I should pay more attention to and promote. Because I sell underwear.
Oh, there you go.
You know what? It's because I'm doing, I do so many things like, have to deal with the fact that like a transmission fell out of a car that we have. Well, it was a while ago, but I'm saying it's stuff. I have to deal with that.
Yep.
And I don't get to keep track of when the no pants rides are or when the lingerie fun runs are because it's in my own damn town.
Yeah.
I should be, in 2020, I should pay more attention to that. Okay.
Are you going to resolve?
I'm going to resolve.
Okay.
I'm going to try and do that.
Very well. Mm-hmm. So Batman, and I'm not talking the 19,000 Batman movies. I'm talking the original TV show Batman.
Oh, with
Burt Ward
and
Adam West.
I watched that after school because remember it was. They only made it for a few years, but it played forever after school.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, Burt Ward is speaking out.
He just got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm. That show only aired from 1966 to 1968, but God knows you and I both watched reruns when we were little. Mm-hmm. So check this out, and this is how times have changed. But basically, Burt Ward, NBC had problems with people saying his bulge was too big, and his tights and whatever. Okay, at no point in time. At any point in time, until right now, where you mentioned the word bulge, Burt Ward, I am 54 years old. When we were in the 70s, after school, there was, ABC after school specials, and then there was like Andy Griffith, and then there was Partridge Family,
and
Brady Bunch,
and some Star Trek. There was all sorts of stuff after school on, and this was one of them. Yep. All the Batman episodes.
Yeah,
I cannot. There's no way in hell that I paid any attention to a bulge.
Me neither.
No. Yeah, and I am as heterosexual as there is. I'm not sure when I chose that lever, but obviously at one point some people think that you get to choose. But whenever that happened, youngsters, you think that had there been a bulge that would have been noticeable. No, I'd paid no attention to it whatsoever.
Burt Ward is claiming that the network told him to take, say it with me, penis shrinking pills to hide his bulge.
There was a thing called dance belts. That squashes everything down.
Does it?
Oh. I mean, it actually makes a very nice package, but it keeps it all compact and in there. Okay. And he's wearing tights and a pair of satin shorts or whatever over the damn tights. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! I certainly hope he told him to go jump in a fucking lake.
No, he took him for 3 days and decided that they could keep him from having children. Why? What man on the face of the fucking earth would say, "Okay, I'll take pills to shrink my dong"?
Well,
no.
Well, the thing in the 60s, there was the last gasp of the studio system, and they pretty much fucking owned you.
Yeah.
When you hear more about the women and all stuff like that, but they own the guys too.
Yeah.
It was only, in the 70s where people started being more independent contractors and not being owned by a studio. I mean, he could have just said he was taking them, but like I said, it was a very, very different time. And, it's going through there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He makes a point of saying that Adam West, the Batman actor, did not have the same problem. Here's a quote. With Adam, they put Turkish towels in his undershorts.
I love this so much. Seriously. I just love this so much. Because like I said, I just watched some of the ceremony in which he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
What is he, 1,000 years old now?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and Kevin Smith inducted him in and stuff like that because he's going through there. It was really sweet and stuff like that. Because I was like, he was a great, we watched those shows. I mean, it was like, whatever. They just started, they started at the beginning, ran it, and then started again. And it just kept over and over and over.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, by the way, he was a straight A student at UCLA, And the dean was apparently devastated when he left to pursue acting. The dean told him that he should have been a nuclear physicist. He was in the top 3% in science and math in the U.S.
Yeah, there's a lot of smart folks out there that decide they want to act. I mean, there's plenty of folks that are actual doctors that just, ended up. I mean, Ken Jeong was a practicing doctor and started doing stand-up, and then got acting jobs, Hangover and Community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He is a licensed MD.
That is so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I mean, Rita Hayworth discovered something that's used in Wi-Fi today. She was an incredibly intelligent woman.
Rita Hayworth?
Rita Hayworth, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was her, yeah.
Wow.
Also, yeah.
So you're driving home in Kentucky, and there's an electronic sign, the billboards, which we see them here in the Twin Cities. It just pops up, send nudes. Doesn't say to where. But it was on Kentucky Route 92 in Whitley County. It was hacked. And whatever the message originally said, it was changed to send nudes.
Send nudes. Well, yeah, they don't, I mean, one, let them have a little bit of joy. I mean, for God's sakes, they've got Mitch McConnell as the senator, so there's a problem right there.
Why not?
And then, I mean, it is, the state of my birth. So
that's weird. I keep forgetting that.
And totally cracks me up. But I could send nudes, huh? Which really, it's like, at least it didn't. I mean, that's honestly quite sweet. Send nudes. It's not like send naked pictures or dick pics. I mean, when you think nude, you definitely think, in my opinion, a little more arty.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
And who doesn't need a little more art in their life?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, there's a guy who had to, he was hospitalized because he took this drug given to bulls when they need to collect sperm to inseminate cows. But a dude bought it in Veracruz, Mexico, took it, and he had a 3-day erection, and he kept trying to just deal with it, and he finally sought medical help. And
that's definitely more than 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. Emergency surgery.
One of the things that I really hope as it becomes more acceptable for women to be sexual and for to be pleasure and sexuality to be more equal and all those things over the years is that it becomes more acceptable for guys not to think that they need to be able to just get it hard at any point. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is, we all know that there's a shitload of stuff that is told to women that is incredibly harmful to them. But honestly, there is a shitload of stuff that is also told to men. Yes. About how you're supposed to be able to just get a hard on whenever you want, that you're always supposed to ejaculate when you have sex. It doesn't happen sometimes. It might not happen. Mm-hmm. That you're not supposed to cry. You're supposed to man up. That you're, all these things that, just stunt a human and stuff like that.
Yes,
it's going through that they're not supposed to, that they're not supposed to like to cuddle.
Yeah, Oh my God, my husband is how do I put it? He is a vigilant and insistent cuddler. And we have had conversations because I have trouble with my neck and getting comfortable and all that kind of stuff. And he has sat me down and said, I want to clamp, which clamp means basically spooning. Mm-hmm. But my husband is very tall and he has very long arms. And so basically I'm.
Yeah, and arms are heavy. I've had a similar conversation where I'm like, there's sex. And then there's cuddling, and then there's sleeping. And these are 3 separate things, and I need to be in 3 different places for these things.
Well, and
going through there.
Yes.
Because an arm draped on your rib cage is uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah, over the hip or someplace, you just got to rearrange. This is fine. But then at one point there just needs to be sleep and you need to be over there.
Right. And that, you know what, as long as, and I do like being clamped by him, it does feel pretty nice, but it lasts a little while and then but he needs his clamp time as he calls it. So, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry if I have neglected you in the clamping area, but okay.
Yeah, but that is perfectly fine to say that or talk through it or say that you want, different things, or maybe maybe tonight they don't want to have sex.
Right.
There's
it's all good.
Perfectly reasonable for a guy to say no to.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And, I appreciated him telling me. I was fine with it.
See?
So it's all good.
Talking. Yeah.
Piers Morgan.
Is there any way or shape or form that he is not an ass in this story?
Maybe.
Okay,
maybe because
generally you hear those two words and you think asshole.
Okay. Well, let me share and let's get your thoughts. Okay. So he's a Good Morning Britain host, and apparently he has made fun of vegan sausage rolls that his co-host eats. They're Greg's sausage rolls, okay? And it has come about that okay, I just need a minute. Okay. Somebody wrote an X-rated novella about him having sex with a vegan sausage roll and circulated it online. And basically, the story was written by a comedian.
Okay, but if you're going to, because a sausage roll pretty much is sausage wrapped in like a flaky pastry. So if you're going to have sex with a sausage roll, you're really only having sex with the flaky pastry because you would have had to push the sausage out. Okay, that's just, especially if you're the person with a penis having sex with it. I'm assuming if you're female, there's a completely different concept. But we're talking about a guy, as far as I know, with a penis. Okay.
And I thought the very same thing, and I think that they really sort of didn't think it through, but it's still pretty funny. So the story features a graphic scene in which Piers enjoys an intimate moment with a vegan sausage roll. And his fellow Good Morning Britain star, Susanna Reid, breaks down a door to discover him in the act. And
she breaks down the door, huh?
Oh, sure. Because it's a novel.
Yeah, it's a novel.
Okay. And then here's the quote. She found Piers Morgan crouched over his bed, naked, with his penis inside a sausage roll, which, to your point, I found problematic as well. Keep quoting. Empty Greg's packages littered his once fine room. It was the scene of a bakery bombshell. Piers was covered in flaky pastry, sausage, and sausage meat was stuck all over his pants.
There's a lot of vegan and vegetarian meat products out there now. I haven't tried any of them.
There's a ton.
Because
it's processed food. I'm worried about it.
Yeah, I understand that for some people that are trying to cut back or this or that. I mean, I'm honestly not sure how much I'm going for how much cows take up space, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole different thing. And I only know some of the information, and lots of things I will blather about, but I don't know enough about that to blather about. But from a meat eater's point of view, which is me, folks that I know that are vegan and vegetarian and stuff like that, like if you're really trying to lose weight, I can see maybe where you want to do this so that you have more options what you're doing for what you're eating. Yeah. Going through there, because if you're used to meat and you're doing that, that's fine. But for me to like go to Burger King right now, not that but for me to go someplace and order this burger makes no sense to me. Mm-hmm. For me, it's going through there. But I suppose they have to convince folks like me that this is a good thing so there's enough of it available for the folks who need it, or folks who still like meat or want that taste. But I mean, most of I look at the ingredients and there's just so many ingredients. How is that? How is getting from that and a burger different? I mean, there's a ton of salt in it, a ton of saturated fat. Mm-hmm. How is this? Mm-hmm. And I know there's have to put the carbon footprint in there too. But if you didn't make this, you wouldn't have that carbon footprint at all. So I don't understand.
There's so many problems, but it's a little bit funny.
Yeah.
And
vegan stuff. Yeah, I mean,
But again, mechanically speaking,
they've got it.
It should have been something other than a sausage roll because it doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. Are you Monty Python fan?
Yes, and we do know that. Who just Terry
Gilliam?
Not Terry Gilliam.
Not John Cleese.
No, the guy that did Wafer Thin Mint. He passed away. Everyone knows about Top Shit. John Cleese actually tweeted that 2 down, 4 to go because of ghosts. So that's how he's dealing with his friend. The man had suffered from dementia. It was on 23. Passed away yesterday. And I'm just it's devastating because it was like my first time I sort of understood, because the stuff was like 5 years old by the time it got to PBS here, but it became very popular when I was in high school, and then festival, and then quotes, and it's just
well, and you did the whole Renaissance fair thing.
I did that.
So
for
you guys
years.
must have just.
And so for the first years, I started their 10-year anniversary, but so for the first years, people were like, because no one knew Monty Python, it was still sort of new, still on PBS. People would that's where they sort of got their inspiration for silliness, and then he also played Greensleeves a lot because people hadn't done a lot of research on songs. Now there's a lot of great music. And
for the love.
Their own. But I just love me some Monty Python. The whole the Wafer Thin Mint bit, and the song where they're singing about every sperm is sacred. And
that was in the history
Jesus
of the world.
Christ, yes.
Oh God, and the babies are dropping.
Yeah, and the whole life of Brian, the two things going on.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Funnier than shit.
Okay, can I just ask you? I've never asked you this. When you did the Renaissance, what was your deal there?
Oh, I did several different things. I started off as just your standard peasant running around doing some stuff. Worked in the one of the original washing well women. Worked with the law, which was spectacular. It was the folks that were sort of the guard and fired off the cannon.
Okay.
Worked with a group of 5 other women. We're all sisters, and we were going shopping. Worked with the Queen Mother for a few years.
Oh, geez.
And then after a while, I just sort of my friend became queen. And so I had an old costume of hers that I gave it to another friend, and so I was in the court. But it was all for the first 10 years, I sort of had a contract. For my second 10 years, thank you, George, I would just get a pass through the king because I needed to do it on my terms. There was no way that I could still do with my knees. I could still do the parade and do some other things that I just felt needed to be. I know that the owner out there makes a fair amount of money. But I also know that he doesn't particularly treat the performers all that well. And so I could put blinders on for a while when I was younger. But as I got older, I said, I need to do this on my own terms. But that's me, And there's a shitload of magic out there. It is spectacular. I know folks that still do it. And I've always said that if the folks out there get 10% of what I got out of it, then it's certainly worth for them to be out there. Because I'm going on a trip in like 31 days with friends. Most of them I known since I was 15 years old and did that show.
Wow.
So
super fun.
It's spectacular. But the shows, nothing's the same. I haven't been out there in years because I have a picture in my head, in my heart, and I want to keep it that way.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
But I know that other folks are out there and they're having a good time, and it's a spectacular show. And I do hope that if they have to move it, that it's all done well for the crafters and the food people and the performers, because those guys put in 10 or 11-hour days, 7 weekends. They bust their asses to make you laugh.
Oh my God.
And they are, and most of them at this point, it's become sort of a volunteer thing. The folks on the street. At stage acts, a few people get paid. But most of them are just doing it for the love of performing.
Oh my God, the pickle guy when I was there.
Yeah, my friend's son has done pickles for a few years now.
Oh my God,
and they're just or tomato justice. I had friends that did that. I mean, I know so many folks that and it is a brilliant place, and it does still have magic. Not for me, but for
that's
others.
okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, Terry Gilliam, we'll conclude with him today. He's 79 now, and he is ripping into all sorts of things. And just, I thought this was interesting, and I'd like to get your thoughts quickly. He's talking about Me Too, and he said, Me Too is a witch hunt. I feel there were a lot of people, decent people, or mildly irritating people who were getting hammered. I don't like mob mentality. Then he goes on to say on Weinstein. He said, there are many victims in Harvey's life, and I feel sympathy, but then Hollywood is full of very ambitious people.
Terry Jones. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt.
The other one, Terry Jones?
Yeah, because if it was going to drive me insane,
okay.
Mommy would drive this, but he's the one that just recently passed away. Okay.
But he said, there were ambitious people who made choices, and I can tell you who made the choice and who didn't. So, and there's a bunch more. We'll put the article up on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page. Thoughts?
There's no reason for this person to have to say this.
Yeah.
He comes from a place of great privilege, and has a perspective that he just simply would not understand. I mean, I'm pretty sure that as we do this, they're probably concluding the first day of Harvey Weinstein's trial in New York. And the women that came forward on that said that he either assaulted them or blackmailed them or crushed their careers because they wouldn't. I mean, this is these are all viable, backed up accounts at this point, from what I can tell. And I think the trial started today, unless something happened and it got pushed back again. But it's supposed to start today.
Okay.
And I like to give folks the benefit of the doubt, but he's not a dumb guy. He should not. I sort of understand what he's saying, but sometimes you just got to shut your damn mouth.
Yeah.
It did not need to be said. And I don't think he really, understood how women have been harmed in the entertainment industry by a small handful of folks.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. No. Well,
it does throw a cloud over. I mean, there are only a few performers. Like, I can't really watch newer Woody Allen pictures. Older ones I can. Stuff like that. Pretty much anything after Purple Rose of Cairo. I just doesn't particularly do anything for me. But I can still I can still older pictures and stuff like that. And this isn't going to stop me from watching Monty Python. But it doesn't. But it does throw a little mud over the person's esteem for me.
Okie doke. Well, on that silly note, I will get on my stick horse and tally-ho off into the sunset until next week.